Hello students, welcome to today's online class. Today we are going to learn chapter number 8, cell, that is the unit of life. Yes, my dear students, when you look around, you see both living and non-living things. You must have wondered and asked yourself, what is it that makes an organism living, or what is it that an inanimate thing does not have which a living thing has? The answer to this is the presence of the basic unit of life, the cell, in all living organisms. All living organisms are composed of cells. Some are composed of a single cell and are called unicellular organisms, while others, like us, composed of many cells, are called multicellular organisms. My dear students, today we are going to learn an interesting chapter. That name is cell. Here you will see that chapter number 8, that is cell, the unit of life. Here, when you look around yourself, you will see that both living things and non-living things are present, and you will be wondered that what is that matter which is present in your living and non-living things. First, what is it that makes an organism living? It means we will see that living organisms, man, human beings, animals, birds, plants, so many things. These are all examples of living things. So, what it makes for live? So, the answer for this is the presence of the basic unit. The presence of the basic unit of life, that is cell, in all living organisms. It means all living organisms are composed of cells. Some are composed of single cells and they are called unicellular organisms, and some they are composed of many cells. So many cells, they are called multicellular organisms. It means an organism made up of more cells or more than 2 cells. They are all called multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms. Here single cell. It is called unicellular organisms. So for unicellular organism, there is an example, that is amoeba. Amoeba. And for multicellular organism, example is we are. It means human beings or man. And let's come to next point. What is a cell? It means we know that cell what? We don't know. So let's learn. Unicellular organisms are capable of first independent existence and second performing the essential functions of life. Anything else than a complete structure of a cell does not ensure independent living. Hence, cell is the fundamental structure and functional unit of all living organisms. So, cell is the fundamental structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Basically, we know that, or we call that, cell is the main thing. So, without cell, not a human being. So, cell is the fundamental structure and functional unit of all living organisms, either maybe unicellular or multicellular. So they all contains cell. Anton von Leeuwenhoek first saw and described a living cell. It means live cell. Robert Brown later discovered the nucleus. So nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown, and the cell was first described by So, and Anton von and Leeuwenhoek. Here you will find the invention of the microscope and its improvement leading to the electron microscope revealed all the structural details of the cell. It means actually what is cell and what is present in that cell. It means so cell contains so many things. So what are the structures present in that particular cell, and what is the particular shape of that cell? So these are all described by with the help of microscope. So when microscope was completely uh, invented by scientists, so each and everything about the cell will be described or revealed about the cell. Have you understood? Now let's come to the 8.2 point, that is cell theory. So cell theory was first described by Matthias Sheldon, a German botanist, and he explained in 1838 that he examined a large number of cells. He examined a large number of plants and observed that all plants are composed of different kinds of cell which form the tissue of the plant. It means scientist Matthias Sheldon, a German botanist, in 1838 he examined a large number of plants in microscope and observed that all plants are composed of different kinds of cells which form the tissue of the plant. All about the same time, therefore, Theodore Schaven, Theodore Schaven in 1839, a British zoologist, studied different types of animal cells and reported that cells had a thin outer layer which is today known as the plasma membrane. So, as a finally conclusion, we says that both scientists Matthias Sheldon and Schaven, so in 1838 and 1839, both they were studied about plants cell and animal cell, and they all say that the existence of cell. And Schaven says that in his studies that there is an outer layer of the cell. It means cell contains, here is a cell surrounding there is an outer layer. So there is an outer layer which is today known as, so which is called as plasma membrane. He also concluded, based on his studies on plant tissue, that the presence of cell wall is a unique character of the plant cell. It means his studies says that he says that in his studies that there is a unique feature in cell. That name is cell wall. There is a presence of cell wall is a unique character of the plant cell. On the basis of this, Schaven proposed the hypothesis that the bodies of animals and plants are composed of cells and products of cells. It means either may be plant cell or animal cell. So it consists of, so either may be plant bodies or animal bodies. It composed of cell and cell products. So in further classes we will study about the detailed explanation about cell products. For example, nucleus, nucleolus, chromosomes, mitochondria, and so many things are present in the cell and plasma membrane also. So Schaven and Sheldon together formulated the cell theory. It means cell theory was composed by, or it is defined by, both scientists Sheldon and Schaven. This theory, however, did not explain as how new cells were formed. Rudolf Virchow in 1855 first explained that cells divide and new cells divided, and new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. These are called omnicellular cellula. He modified the hypothesis of Sheldon and Scoville to give the cell theory in a final shape. Cell theory as understood today is: first, all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. Second, all cells arise from pre-existing cell. So, therefore, we know that in 1855, Rudolf Virchow first explained that cell divided and new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. It means he says that in studies. So first cell is, it means today's cell is produced from pre-existing cells. So it is called omnicellular cellula. And he modified the hypothesis of Sheldon and Scoville and gave the cell theory final. It means finally he gave the cell theory. So cell theory says that there are two statements in cell theory. First, all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. It means either may be plant cell or animal cell. So all living organism, or it means it may be plant organism or animal organism. It is mainly composed of first cell and its products. It means cell products. Second thing, all cells arise from pre-existing cells. It means if a new cell is arise, so that new cell is arise from pre-existing cell only. And okay, so in further class we will study about an overview of cell. Thank you so much for viewing today's class. इसी तरह इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियोस देखने के लिए हमारे इस यूट्यूब चैनल महबूब के वीडियोस यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करिए, लाइक कीजिए इस वीडियो को, शेयर करिए अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ। मिलते हैं एक और नए शानदार वीडियो में।